Hello, Szewczaks. It's me, Maja Szewczak, and welcome to another episode of Dollhouse Lifehacks. Today, we'll be doing more travel-friendly, airport-friendly Dollhouse Lifehacks. Because this episode is travel-friendly because I'm using small doll houses and small tea boxes where I can make it multifunctional, yet not too heavy to fit in the luggage, and easy for the luggage whenever you're going to take that with you on holidays, because there is a limit of weight you're allowed to bring on airplanes. The flights will get boring, and yep, you have limited things you are allowed to bring on the airplane. No sharp objects, no liquids, and the flights get boring, so you need something like this if you are into dolls. But anyways, today we'll be making a pastel dollhouse in that box. I've already stitched on the press stud for easy storage in the luggage. It will not look like this later, but I'm going to show you. Oh, those are glues. They have liquids. They don't allow liquids, but I'm at home right now. Mean in the studio in the caravan, but still, I'm going to use this to make dollhouse items and to decorate them with those pretty pastel colors. Liquids are not allowed, but they're okay with it if it dries, turns into its solid form. Why would someone not allow solid whenever the liquids aren't allowed on airports? So airports do not allow your own liquids. You have to buy your own water at the airport, because if you bring your own water, they're going to have to tell you to throw it out. So that's what will happen if you even bring your own water to the airport. You have to buy it. But anyways, let's do the life hacks. I want here an arch frame, however I don't want the wall to be showing the airplane scene or the hotel room. So to cover it up, I'm going to use a piece of cardboard, but I'll have to cut it first. It's been cut out. Now I'm going to foam adhesive it to the cardboard here, but later I'll paint it before I'll go on holidays, because they don't allow anything wet either, I don't think. Okay, I have this done, and this can fold closed when it's not in use. So now I'm going to make a cut in this cardboard where I'm marking it with a pen and cut it out. You can give it press dots, or you can just foam adhesive. I'm choosing to foam adhesive, but I'll have to draw that kitchen because I've got inspired by a Pinterest photo that I want to do something inspired by it. So, foam adhesive for me it is. For you different if you want it to be functioning differently than mine, but this is your dollhouse. Do what you want, but please make sure to research if the airport's okay with that. Before foam adhesive the frame that I've made, I have made a kitchen and I'm going to use watercolor paints to add pastel colors to it. Okay, I'll have to let that watercolor paint dry. So I'm going to work on this while the kitchen dries. It's been painted in pastel colors. Now we are going to add some tiles here with sequins. I've added cute tiles with fruit on them, like blue and pink fruit. So I'm going to select tiny particles of this pastel glitter to add a little bit of more color to them. I just pick them out really carefully because that's what I'm going to put on this lychee tile. I have giant hands, so it's really tiny and I have to use tiny pointy things for this to work. But you can use glitter particles to decorate it with. Can you see that? Okay, let's add another dot. I will zoom it in so you can see it better. Can you see the yellow dots on the pink lychee here? Okay, then I'll add a bit of the white dots very carefully on the red cherry. I never knew I was going to, be adding those tiny glitter particles on such tiny tiles and showing it to everybody. Because not everybody's going to see it unless I zoom the camera way in so you can see. Because in real life it's really tiny work. But camera can zoom this in so much that it doesn't notice how tiny it is until you see my giant hands. Well, see how giant my thumb is compared to those tiles. We have been warned. We're going to use the small heart ribbon from the range, cut off a heart from it with scissors, and we are going to try it here and then mark an area where I want to stitch on the press stud, just so you will know where to stitch it, and the opposite press stud will go at the back of the heart. I will do 3 hearts with press studs in the back. So one will have fruit, one will have baguettes with pastel colors, and one will have macarons on it. I also have this weird ladybug cabochon. This is not for this episode, but I just want to show you it. Like, the idea is good, but the execution kind of weird. So I kind of want to give this a makeover, but I hadn't came up with ideas for it yet. However, I'm leaving that for an idea Sunday. And the idea Sunday with this cabochon will come when I come up with a good idea for it. Right now, don't have an idea for it, just wanted to quickly show you it. Here we have the baguettes, the fruit, and the macarons. Now they have to dry before I can test the site. This is the kitchen with the baguettes. And I have the fruit and macarons. They can be put on and removed on the press stud the same way as the baguettes. So I'm going to show you the fruit and the macarons. I can always make more for this press stud, but that's for a different episode. Where the stove and the ovens are through the door frame, I've decided to add lots of tiny detailing such as sequins, even selected out glitter particles very carefully. And look at this, just in the mood for small tiny details, so that's why I'm working on that type of video. But that's like the main part of it, and there would be smaller hacks in that video as well as this. But what about the space here? Okay, so we are going to use, since I finished this glitter jar, I'm going to use that for a different piece of doll furniture. So I'm going to use the lid. It's black, but I can make it pastel colored. Okay, if I can find a way to do it, I'm going to make a pastel pink maybe like a white pink shaker suitcase. Yet I did make one in an Idea Sunday video before, but this time the way how I make this will be different from the Idea Sunday that I did months ago. But it's black. How do I make it pastel pink and with a shaker? Painted the black lid white pink. Hopefully it will dry okay and not peel off, because I did mix in acrylic glue to strengthen the acrylic paint sticking to the black lid that I'm going to completely change its color to pastel pink. So while that dries, I could either work on the tiling here or start decorating for the shaker suitcase, because I was doing a cabochon makeover in Polish. Dollhouse Lifehacks doesn't usually involve cabochon makeovers, but in that case it did. But this is not an Idea Sunday episode. Idea Sundays are completely cabochon makeovers, while Dollhouse Lifehacks don't always include a cabochon makeovers, but there are rare occasions that they do, like this one. So the cabochon makeovers in a Dollhouse Lifehacks episode that isn't an Idea Sunday. Who could see that coming? Anyways, let's start decorating. It's been decorated with those painted cabochons, glitter, and beads, and there's like a thin cardboard flower. Now I'll have to let it dry and focus on those tiles. It looks like a cake, but I've decided to commit to it looking like a pink-white jelly cake. I'm going to glue on those pearls and the sequin and make it a spoon. It will be white, but I'll color it very, very light pink. So light, it's almost white. So gluing the sequin first. I kind of want to change its shape a little bit with those tiny manicure scissors, because that's what helps me, well, make those shapes. And I'm going to glue it on. There is a hole in the sequin that is meant to be stitched on, but let's put a petal sequin. I'm going to cut it a little bit, but it's like really tiny, so it'll be really hard hard to do. And you have to focus on it. I can't show you because it's too tiny and I get so many failed attempts at it. But okay, that's the third failed attempt that you didn't even see. Okay. What about this? Okay, let's put it on to patch that hole up. And then we're going to try to very carefully add it in. Because the tiny details is no joke here. It's serious. I had to paint a secondary layer of the pastel pink. I didn't feel the need to mix acrylic glue to it because the first layer had it mixed in. Hopefully that will stay on and not chip off. However, the first layer had the pastel pink, but the black was still showing after it dried, so I had to do another layer. I've also painted the shaker compartment. They have to dry now. I made the spoon really white pink. So this is the most pastel pink that I own. It's called blush. And the ratio between blush, 1 blush and 10 colorless blender marker mix. The colorless blender is just meant to be blended. It's not a color at all. But I have mixed it with a ratio of 10 colorless blender and 1 blush. And this is the result. It was white, but so pastel. This is before I added the pastel pink. It's white, but whenever I added the pastel pink, I've added so little of it, it's barely noticeable. I'm going to show you. Yes or no, can you see a difference when I've added so little pastel pink marker to the spoon? I can see a little bit of difference, but that could be said due to lighting or monitors that I'm watching it at, or everybody can have different eyesight with colors. That can also be how it can look different. I've added markers on the plastic for the shaker compartment to make it feel more pastel pink, like made out of pastel pink plastic. The lid hasn't dried yet, taking such a long time. But at least I used the time well until it dried. I let the suitcase dry overnight, and this way that I'm showing you is actually showing you how well it stands on its own. Like this, even though I didn't glue any extra beads. Look how well the suitcase is standing on its own. However, I still have to fill it up with a bead, close the compartment, and work on here because this part is still black. How are we going to fill this black area here, you ask? I'm going to get fabric. I will stitch it, but before stitching, I want to decorate it with white sequins, and on the sequins, I want to draw some fruit. Because I'm really in the mood for really small, tiny details. I've made an insert for the black hole in the pink suitcase, and it's fitting well, so I'm going to glue it in. The insert didn't fill it all up, so I had to paint the black areas and made a secondary closure for the suitcase. Painted it pastel pink, now it has to dry. I didn't paint this area because of the mechanism of what I'm making, but it will have to dry and then I'll do it. Okay, I've attached the cardboard and I've painted it pink. Now I need to make a handle for the suitcase before this closure dries. Applied. Time for it to dry. For the shaker part, I'm going to fill this compartment with those pastel pink beads. And it goes, and this and this. And it goes. Oh. All of it. Let's do a shake test. Yes! However, I still have to be very careful for the outside parts as they hadn't dried yet. But okay, we know what to expect. Time to make a closure for the compartment and let it dry overnight. Okay, I've put a pastel pink pom-pom to complete the suitcase. I cannot believe how much storage on my phone this video is costing me, so I'll let it dry and stop making the suitcase there. I was going to finish the suitcase there, but there's still some marks that need to be covered up. And since I've added the pom-pom there, I'm thinking of doing pom-pom accents just to make this look cuter. The pastel pink pom-poms have been added along with a little bit of glitter. That's very pastel glitter, so I'll have to let it dry for the final time and hope that's finished. Even though I did like making it, still it took a lot of footage to film and a lot of storage on my phone to film that. Finally, the suitcase has dried and it's finished. And I can shake it. Shaking it with joy that it is finished. Okay. Time for another life hack because this suitcase has already stretched the length of the video a lot. Let's do a yellow Dollhouse life hack. So it will be a beret for Nicholas Mellow, like a pastel yellow one. So I have this elastic piece to make it hold on his head better. However, I'll have to stitch it together. Then stitch this white fabric onto it. It will become yellow later. The elastic to the white fabric has been stitched. I'm trying it on Nicholas Mellow head to make sure it fits right before I add in the yellow colors because I don't want to waste them. And it's fitting on well, so I'm going to use the watercolor paints to make it yellow. However, I will have to remove it, hopefully. After it dries, I'll be able to put it back onto his head again. Painted pastel yellow. Now I have to let the water dry. I have put the beret on a lid to also give it options to not only be a beret for Nicholas Mellow but also a piece of furniture. So I've glued some glitter to it. Now it has to dry. The beret needs drying, but the lid that also allows me options for it becoming a pastel cover for this lid from paint wasn't pastel enough because it has a black base. So I'm going to turn it into a white base by adding the glue and the acrylic paint, like mixing it to create extra strength of a compound that I'm going to not only paint it white but also make it not chip or scratch off over time. I want it to be like extra durable, so we're mixing it and letting it dry for a long time. Okay, so I'm going to let the white paint dry. Okay, the yellow bird has dried on Nicholas Mellow, And I do like it. I do like it better in person. It has that orangey yellow, while the camera not really how it looks on camera, because the camera makes the yellow look more green than it really is. But I like it better in person. At first seeing it, I kind of wasn't feeling it, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. Just requires my eyes to get used to that in order for me to like it. And not only am it for Nicholas Mello, but also here's the lid, and it can be used to decorate a chair for dolls or make a chair cover, just like that. So it can also be used in the chair form, like a chair cover form for the dollhouse too. Just wanted to show you that. I also added a colorful table when the bird is not on Nicholas Mello but on a lid to make it a yellow chair. There's the kitchen, but I kind of want this travel-friendly dollhouse to have a door, like a front or back door of a house, just to give me options for my backdrops. I will need more here if I'm doing it during a flight, but I can always put a green screen and also come up with anything or put anything there that you could imagine, because you can't see the mess in my studio. But I just wanted to show you how my travel-friendly dollhouses work. But still, I want to decorate this space. And I want it to be closed into a pink box when I'm not using it. Because if I remove the press stud here, I mean not remove but open it up, I can have a patio or a kitchen space. Just do the hooks and you can have options for your backdrops in your travel-friendly dollhouse that won't take a lot of storage in your luggage and also not be too heavy, nor people at the airport won't think that I'm really that weird to be bringing a huge dollhouse on an airplane. Some people do be weird and bring like musical instruments, but I've never done that. Not that I've ever tried. I don't play musical instruments. But I've seen people bring things to the airport, sometimes things they shouldn't be bringing. I want to keep this content family friendly, so people do bring things on the airplane that aren't allowed, but Make sure you throw it out or don't bring it to the airport if you have it. I'm not going to bring glues or sharp objects which isn't allowed there. I've decided to place a backdrop that's just going to be the sky and the grass. But it can close like this whenever I'm not using it, and I've painted the box pink. So, would think there was tea in it now. Okay, so I finished tiling the kitchen frame and the kitchen. Very time consuming, but the results are always worth it. Okay, Szewczaks, that's the finished episode. What did you think of the life hacks? Please make sure to tell me. And bye, Szewczak. See you in another Dollhouse Lifehacks episode. Bye.